Hi, everyone. Welcome. Our next presenter today is Eli Yorish with Foresight Autonomous Holdings. Take it away.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. It's a full room. Thank you for joining our presentation, Foresight Group. My name is Eli Yorish. I'm the company's CFO. I'm with the company from the beginning, almost 8 years. Okay, so let's start. Group structure. We are a duly traded company, both in NASDAQ and the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. Foresight Autonomous Holding, ticker FRSX. Our aim to accelerate and enhance safety across the entire ecosystem in the transportation market. Our biggest shareholder is a company called Magna BSP. This is a company controlled by our CEO. All the rest, pure public float, institutionals, retail, everybody is in there. Underneath the trading entity, we have two companies, separate companies with different technologies, with different teams, and I'll talk about both of them, but mainly in this presentation, I will focus on Inet. So Foresight Automotive, this is a company that is bringing 3D vision solutions to vehicles, both from ADAS, assisting systems, all the way through fully autonomous features. We also have already a subsidiary in China, boots on the ground, and this is the company that is in charge of business development in Asia. Inet, this is a company that is developing cellular-based. It's actually an application, cellular-based vehicle-to-everything system to prevent collisions. I'll talk about that later on. So very, very quickly, a brief about Foresight Automotive. So we are a technology company developing 3D stereo vision software solutions. We have 65 employees, mainly in R&D. So we are a software and algo company. We do use hardware, of course. We use cameras and we use computers to run over, usually with NVIDIA. But we are agnostic to hardware, so our main focus is software, and we can run on any existing hardware, off the shelf or our own. We have 10 patents in different stages, and we have two main core competences in the company, what we call automatic calibration. The stereo world is actually something which is not new, but in order to bring stereo vision, that means a pair of two cameras. They need to be calibrated at all times. For that to happen, what all other manufacturers are doing, they are putting them very close to each other, 10 centimeters apart, and always on a very rigid beam. Why? So the cameras will not be decalibrated. It can happen from temperature changes, it can happen from a bump on the road, for many, many reasons. We do not need that. Why? We have a software model in which we can actually set apart the cameras, even 2 meters, without any connection, and by using just pure software, they will keep being calibrated at all times. This is very, very unique. Nobody else has what we have, and that gives us a lot of opportunities, allowing us to stretch the baseline, and it's a physics, it's triangulation. When the baseline is wider, you see longer and more accurate. Okay, so this is our technology. We're aiming with Foresight Automotive to 3 main markets. The automotive vehicles, of course, passenger. This is the most bigger and lucrative market, but with longer sales cycle and very hard to penetrate. The 2 other markets that we're aiming at are heavy machinery, which is usually agriculture, mining, infrastructure, these big machines that are working mostly off-road, and defense and security. Those 2 last segments are very, very relevant for off-road, and we can bring a lot of added value to those markets, and their sales cycle is much shorter, less safety issues, not riding on roads, and cost not so much cost sensitive, because those machines cost a lot of money, so they don't really care about $1 here or $1 there. A little bit about where we are with business traction, very quickly. So in the defense side, we are already set up and running. We have a commercial agreement together with LD Systems. I don't know if you heard, it's a NASDAQ company, one of the biggest integrators in the land defense world. We've signed a commercial agreement with them last year, and actually last week we have announced that they have received an order from their key customer for deployment of our technology. So this is already commercial, validated, up and running, and whenever Elbit wins tender, and this is a multi-billion company, Foresight is already inside by selling software licenses. So up and running. In the heavy machinery agriculture, as you can see, we also have a commercial agreement with a tier 1 in China. This is for geofenced solutions in airports. And we are conducting multiple proof of concepts with other leading machinery players, and also active in the automotive vector with collaborations with major tier 1 suppliers like ZF, Hitachi. We have just completed a very interesting proof of concept with one of the biggest Chinese EV manufacturer, bigger than Tesla. We can't say the name, but I guess you can understand who it is, and many other proof of concepts that we are doing. So just finalizing about Foresight, this is how the sales cycle in our industry looks like, and you can see where we are. So usually you go through engagement, and then a paid proof of concept, and then you go through a co-development in which you design according to a specific scope of work with the customer, and until you get to the design win. Design win means you're going to be integrated into a specific vehicle and then move to actual mass production. So we are there, design win, waiting into 2024, going through 2025 for actual mass production and real revenues. Up until today, we are pre-revenue with revenues from R&D related activities. So this is in a nutshell about Foresight. Moving on to Inet. Okay, so a different company, again, reminding you, fully owned by us, but with a dedicated team. I'm the CFO of both companies, but we have a dedicated CEO and management team for that company. So Inet is basically changing the paradigm of the safety issues that we have on our roads. I'll explain what do I mean. What we do, we actually design and develop a cellular-based accident prevention solution, and at the end of the day, what we bring is a software add-on or an SDK, a software development kit, which is provided to get real-time pre-collision alerts to all road users. When I say all road users, I mean not only vehicles, because vehicles are already protected, right? We have seatbelts, we have airbags, and we are protected in the car. But cyclists, motorcycles, pedestrians, we are not protected by any means. We are very, very vulnerable. We can protect the entire ecosystem. We are the only one doing that. I'll explain in a minute how. 4 patents in different stages. This is a commercially ready product, already out there, 25 employees and growing. So let's give you a few examples of what is the problem I'm talking about. You'll understand very quickly. So you can see this. This is a scenario that we call the reckless pedestrian. This is a 100% accident. Nobody can avoid it. This is an injury or death. It happens thousands of times per day around the world all the time, right? Now, what we do in Inet, we take the problem, which is the usage, distraction of the mobile phone, and turn it into the solution. How do we do that? We bring 2 main innovations to the table. First one, any ADAS sensors that we have on our cars today, they need a designated field of view in order to detect an object. But if you don't see the object, or it comes in the last millisecond, it's useless, right? The car will go on driving. We do not need a line of sight. We have the ability to see beyond line of sight. Why? Because we are working on the cellular infrastructure. So we know there is another cellular user around us, approaching us. We don't need to see him. We will know that this pedestrian was behind the bus. We will know there is a kid running over a ball between 2 cars. We don't need to see you. This is very, very unique. The second innovation is that even if the ADAS sensor has seen and detected something, what does the sensor do? He will alert to the driver or the vehicle, right? Never, ever to the other part of the collision, which is crazy, right? It takes two to tango. But we do. We send alerts to both parties, and by doing that, we actually reduce the probability of an accident occurring. We predict accidents before you know they are there. This is how unique it is. Another example, you can see the bicycle riding from the left. Don't worry, the boy is okay. We checked. Again, this is just to emphasize the growing pain of micromobility problems in dense environments. Happens everywhere. E-scooters, e-bikes, they are running like crazy everywhere. We can solve these issues very, very easily. Okay, so now you understand what is the problem, and there's many, many, many others. This was like just a few corner cases. Now let's see how does that work. So this is an application. So remember, you need to download it into your mobile device, right? And after everybody has downloaded their application on their device, the mobile device will constantly transmit its location, by the way, fully anonymously. We only take the ping of your location. We do not know who you are and what's your number, to our Inet cloud server, okay? And this Inet cloud server, within a certain radius, makes all other devices aware of my device. And when we get to a problem, as you can see here, okay, there's a cyclist, there's a car going into the intersection. They do not see each other because there's a building obstructing them, okay, beyond line of sight. If they continue in that direction, there is going to be an accident. Now, the mobile app, the mobile phone, the local device is, the mobile device is calculating the probability of an accident occurring. And when we get to 100% sure, then we send alerts, okay? We use any means that we have, audio, video, flashlight, vibration, okay? And all we need is for one or maybe two of the parties to slow down, divert, and maybe we can actually save lives here. This is all algo. This is all working now on any cellular network. We don't need 5G. We don't need anything. It can work today. Very, very unique. Okay. Those are the target markets that we are aiming at. But here is the right opportunity to talk about how will everybody have Inet, right? So to your question, no. I'm not going to ask each and every one of the billions of users in the world to download it individually from your Google store. No. This is very expensive, and it will take ages. What we are doing is, our go-to-market strategy is to find a host. We take our software development kit, it's a software layer, and we try to integrate it into an existing application. I'll give you our biggest dream, okay? Google Maps, it's an application. Everybody here has Google Maps. 7 billion users have Google Maps. So when we're a little bit bigger, we'll knock on their doors and we will say, hey, Google Maps, do you want a safety feature in your application? You don't have it. If they say yes, we go into a phase of 2-3 months, very easy integration, no big deal. We don't get money for that. After they finish, in the next update that you'll have on your phone, Inet is inside. Of course, you need to agree. So you press 2-3 buttons, board, and I'm starting to protect you. So we are looking for third-party location-based applications. We don't need many, right? We need 10, 20 to cover the world, okay? That can be navigation. That can be fitness application. That can be car sharing, okay? Very relevant for micromobility, as I've seen before, because food delivery, last-mile delivery logistics, e-bikes, e-scooters, all of those guys have applications with GPS. So we can protect them as well. And in addition, we are very relevant for the automotive sector. I'll explain exactly about how we can bring added value there as well. How do we make money? Okay, so this is a very classic freemium model in which our basic application is always going to be for free. We don't want any objections. We want you to get the update, say, I agree, not paying anything, and I just want to start protecting you. Why? Because we need the masses, right? If I have the application and you don't, we cannot communicate, I cannot save this pre-collision. So I just want to have as many as possible. if you are willing to pay a subscription fee, a monthly fee, to get the additional features that we have, and we have some neat features, then we will get probably about $1 per month, which we will rev share with the host application, with the Google Map, and this is how we monetize and make money. In addition, bear in mind that when we get to big numbers, we collect a lot of data, okay? This data is again, it's anonymous, but we know that there are many, many users and vehicles and cyclists and pedestrians going through the same intersection. There is a lot of analysis that we can do and sell and monetize to all kind of different stakeholders. So money can be made out of that end as well. Let's talk a little bit about business traction. So we're aiming at the three market verticals that I mentioned, but currently we are focusing on specific geographies. Why? Because it doesn't really make sense that I have 1 million users which are scattered around in all the USA, right? I want them to meet. So if I have 50 in New York and 50 in Oklahoma and 50 in LA, it doesn't really, it's not effective. So we are focusing in territories, going from one city, having it conquered and moving on. That's why we're focusing mainly in Israel, because that's where we are from, and Japan and Europe. That's the main geographies we're focusing at. And now I'll guide you through three main big opportunities that Inet has, which in our perspective can be pretty soon a big unicorn. Okay, so the first opportunity, I think that the biggest one, is our cooperation with SoftBank. I think there's nobody here in the room that doesn't know who SoftBank Corp is. A huge corporation from Japan, like an octopus, having hundreds of ownership over companies around the globe. We have a relationship with SoftBank for the past 2 years, but last year, back in August, we have signed a very strategic for us, and I think that for them as well, multi-phase partnership agreement. It's a 5-step agreement in which the 2 first stages we already have completed, announced about 2 weeks ago, in which we have completed to validate and make the verification of our technology on their servers, on Japanese soil, through their base stations over 5G. They really tore us up, and it was 100% successful. So now we are moving on. The next phase, the third phase, is actually a commercial validation. What is the plan? The plan is for SoftBank to introduce us and integrate our software add-on into their companies and partnership. Now, what does SoftBank has? They have a lot. But from what we understand, they have a cellular provider, okay? They own a company in Japan. They have an insurance company. This is very important to reduce premiums and costs. They own the largest messaging company in Japan. This is called Line, 170 million users. They also own a very large payment application and many, many more. So what we think that is going to happen is that we are probably going to integrate our Inet software into their ownership or partnership companies and move from that end to a large-scale commercial validation already in 2024 in a limited area. Probably Tokyo, we still don't know, but that is their idea. And if everything goes well, in 2025, Inet will be deployed with 200 million users just in Japan. And SoftBank is not working only in Japan. That can be, a lot beyond. Now, this is my wishful thinking, but since I do know SoftBank and the way they work, we think that SoftBank eventually are going to be our first strategic investor in Inet. And down the road, who knows? Maybe they will actually pay the bill and acquire 100% of us, because we see that we fit the puzzle. There is some kind of an idea that is behind it, and we make the secret sauce that they need. Okay? Huge opportunity, SoftBank. Let's move to the second opportunity, also in Japan, and this is very, very unique. The other company I was talking about, Foresight Automotive, this is the company that is dealing with automakers. But Inet as well has found out that we have a lot to offer to the automakers as well. So in the last year or so, we are working with a very reputable and known Japanese automaker. Can't name them. It's discreet. But he approached us, and he saw the ability of Inet to give additional layers of safety in addition to the current ADAS sensors. How? Think about the fact that we, in Inet, we know how much? 5? We know that we have the ability to identify each user. So we know if you are a vehicle, a pedestrian, or a cyclist. So now this car manufacturer will take Inet and add our layer of 360 degrees kind of perception of the environment around the vehicle to get the idea of, now at this current moment, we have 2 vehicles around you, from the right and the left. You have a cyclist on your back. On the front, you have motorcycles, and make sure that you know that there are 3 pedestrians on your pavement at any given moment. This is very valuable information for the car and the driver to take decision whenever he wants. Nobody else has this, okay? This is kind of like a radar that gives a lot of information on the surrounding of the vehicle. A week ago, we just announced that this car manufacturer has placed a follow-up order. And currently now we are processing to develop what they asked from us. And the plan already this year is to hopefully integrate Inet, the product that is designated for car manufacturers, into those vehicles. It can be through either inside the infotainment systems, which is very easy to do because you do not touch the car design, or through the main ECU. So Inet in cars as well, big thing. This is not a freemium model. This is a license model in which we will sell per vehicle a perpetual license for $10, $20 for a few years, which can pile up. This is very interesting. And lastly, in Europe now, Inet was chosen by a partnership. It's an ecosystem of 6 companies. You can see the names below. Huge European companies. Orange, one of the biggest cellular provider in Europe. The Renault Group, one of the biggest car manufacturers in France, in the world. Thales Group is manufacturing equipment, huge, okay? These guys have the vision of bringing intelligent and secure, sustainable mobility into smart cities in Europe. And they chose Inet a few months ago to lead the way, and we are going to be the spearhead this year to start a small-scale pilot in one of the biggest cities in France. Can't say the name. And if that works, their plan in 2025 is to take this entire ecosystem and deploy it over 150 cities across Europe. So only this can bring hundreds of millions of users and can be a very, very big opportunity. So this is our presentation, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I guess I was very clear. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.